New Super Mario Bros. Wii is nothing special, but what it introduced to the mainline Mario franchise is still relevant to this day. Multiple people playing through the game at the same time. This is what I'd call the first defining feature and foundation of the Mario Wii multiplayer system. But what other features make it so fun or infuriating? And how did it evolve since the Wii? To figure this out, I played through the game multiple times. Once alone, and then 2, 3, and 4 players. Single player is just your standard playthrough. Levels in this game were made a lot bigger in order to accommodate potentially having extra players, and you can really feel that in the earlier worlds. But by the end of the game, it's not so empty. In an ideal world, every level could dynamically change things depending on the amount of players currently playing, so everyone gets an equally good experience for their player count, but that's a lot more effort for the development team. So, they always brace for the worst scenario: 4 players. This leaves single player in the dust a bit, but that's okay. One player might not be Mario Wii's strength, but it's nowhere near awful. And now I can play with the defining feature: friends. But first, let's talk about Mario multiplayer before Mario Wii. It sucked. If there was a 2-player option, all it meant was you take turns after one beats a level or dies. Super Mario Galaxy essentially introduced the little sibling mode, where player 2 gets to control another pointer to do a few things, but it was still super lackluster. Things started to change by New Super Mario Bros. DS, however. While the main campaign was single player, through local wireless multiplayer you could access Mario vs Luigi. This mode is awesome and is the clear precursor to what Mario Wii would eventually build on, for better or worse. Both players traverse a small looping level and have their own cameras. The challenge is to get the right amount of stars before the other person does in any way possible, including stealing. You're able to take from one another by ground pounding, power-ups, and just pushing each other into their doom. That's basically it, and it's a bunch of fun, albeit there isn't too much to do after playing it for a while. There's only 5 maps, and Mario DS's power-up selection has always been pretty lame to me. With that out the way, 2 players. This is where things start getting interesting. I played with someone who has terrible internet and also doesn't play platformers at all. I'm not giving them the best chance to learn how to play since we're rushing to the end, but also... get the fire flower.
No!
No!
What? I can do it.
I wouldn't do it from there. Yeah. There, you did it. Just walk forward. No! How did you mess this? 2 players gives you plenty of space to move around, but you can also interact with each other when needed. Added on from the moveset in Mario vs Luigi, we can now lift each other up and throw. This isn't meant to be a competitive mode anymore, so power-ups no longer stun you, but ground pounds still do because I suppose it would feel wrong otherwise. Multiplayer also adds the bubble ability, and this is one of the biggest fundamental changes and second pillar of Mario Wii multiplayer. If you're about to die or you're falling behind, you can press the bubble button to let the others handle it. You also get put in one if you die. Nintendo says this is intended so that even the worst players can get to the end of the game and talk about it. And yeah, that's true, but this doesn't really let you get better at the game. It just ends up making you more reliant on others. By the end of the game, I wouldn't be surprised if some people were spending more time bubbling or dead than actually playing the game. And that's pretty much what happened on this playthrough, which is unfortunate. Overall though, 2 players really is a huge step up from 1 player. Suddenly things don't feel nearly as empty, and the last levels end up feeling more tense when you're not alone. 3 players is when things possibly start getting a little much. I played this with my siblings. They've gained a decent amount of experience over the years, so theoretically this should help keep hectic moments in check? Sorta. More experienced players definitely helps, but gaining experience also leads to more messing around. We know what we're doing here, so the biggest enemies of the game end up being ourselves. That's okay though, because at least for us, we were able to actually cooperate when needed. So this back and forth of being enemies and friends really just makes everything tick. And this is my 3rd defining feature for the system. 3 players when you really start needing to bubble though. This rotating platform in 5-1 is honestly way too small, and these wobbling rocks in 8-1 are a mess to handle with more than 1 person. What I really feel like bubbling was made for was a failsafe for when the level design fails you, much more than the reason Nintendo stated in their interview. I'll quickly touch on Coin Battle now, as I played it with 3 players first. It's okay, but not as fun as Mario vs Luigi. Everyone is still confined to 1 camera like the main game. Power-ups don't affect each other, and we're still trying to get to a goal pole rather than, I don't know, racking up coins in a looping level. You'll see competitive multiplayer modes being slowly phased out over the years, especially considering how the main game partially takes care of that for you. Now Miyamoto says that people got heated in coin battles during their testing, but 4 players. If you've ever played or seen it, you'll know about the chaos that ensues. Something about it ends up being fun though. So despite everything, I am glad it exists as an option. Pro tip though, make sure the people you invite to a 4-player session know how to play the game.
Ah! Okay.
Get it. Alright. I don't get one, man.
Okay, we all lost it. We all lost it.
Or they'll hate it. Earlier levels are already starting to struggle to give everyone space, and then by the end of the game there's just almost nowhere to stand at times. You will die a lot in 4-player, but since there only needs to be 1 player around at a time for you to keep going, you won't find yourself having to restart levels that often. This is a small benefit in a sea of disarray, but it was something Nintendo thoughtfully planned. I actually agree this time. This lets the less experienced players still play through everything without it feeling so cheap. My 4th and final pillar for the Mario Wii multiplayer system is that everyone is equal. While yeah, technically player 1 has control over the world map and menus and no one else, I don't really think anyone would make any progress without the small limit. So these are the 4 pillars of the Mario Wii system, but how does it affect the level design? Well, having multiplayer increases the complexity of all your levels, and it takes more work to make mechanics work the way you want to. Let's say you have a moving platform that activates when the player touches it. Now what if there's 2 players involved? Now you need to wait for both to be on it. This platform is kind of small though. What if we get 3 or 4 players? Now you need to make the platform bigger. Even this relatively simple example has caused a lot more thought to be involved. Imagine trying to figure this out for every mechanic that's slightly complex. Finding the optimal amount of space to fit everyone on the ground. Seeing if there's too many enemies to deal with. Even if not too much work in a vacuum, it's still a bunch of development time over the course of an entire game, which could lead to levels getting simplified to just avoid the headache. This isn't even mentioning that some mechanics may flat out not work at all. What if you have a simple level where you all fall down? In single player, that's not a problem. Only 1 person to track. In multiplayer, there's many scenarios that could break this. What if someone has a propeller suit and flies up? Or someone has a mini mushroom and falls really slowly. Without turning this down many notches, you're out of luck. The game does technically do this anyways in 2-2, when it really shouldn't. So alright, maybe you're not satisfied with that example. What about a theoretical level where you break the ground behind you as you move? Or a level where a theoretical bouncy mushroom mechanic propels you with great speeds across obstacles? There's a bunch of stuff that can't be done with the multiplayer system here, and it had to be considered when making things. I'm not a game designer, but I've played my fair share of platformers, and in the past I've tried making NSMB series mods. This is all stuff I've been through when designing levels for them. It can be fun to work with these limitations, but it can certainly be annoying too. And that's Mario Wii's multiplayer. It has its flaws, and while I kinda bashed it just now, it's still a valid style of multiplayer and can be very fun, even if it's carried more by your friends and less by the game sometimes.
Don't leave me. No, don't kill him. Don't kill him.
Go back down. Go back down.
Too far down. I can't see him. There he is.
Come. Okay, you pushed me off the platform.
It's fine. Now we're gaming.
I think what really makes it so interesting though was how long the system was used for, with only minor changes between games. Let's take a quick run through on how every subsequent Mario game takes Wii's principles and applies them. But real quick, if you like this video, then subscribe and do the other stuff. This is episode 3 where I try to make a unique video on every game I've beaten, so stay tuned if you're interested in the next one or anything else. November 2012, New Super Mario Bros. U. The core is almost the exact same as Wii. They did bring back a little sibling mode though in the form of gamepad pandering. Whoever is on the gamepad can place blocks for other players to use, and if a player lands on enough of them in a row, you get this special star power-up thing. Despite technically breaking the equality law, I don't consider this a feature broken, because this is just a shoehorned Wii U gimmick and no one is really using this. They completely banned the Wii U gamepad from being used as a normal controller in multiplayer for this, by the way. You'll see some bonus modes here and in Deluxe, but these are the last time you'll see them. They're bad. June 2013, New Super Luigi U. Repeat Mario U, but as Mario is dead or something, they had to add a new character. As Luigi U is generally harder than Mario U, they decided to add an invincible character, Nabbit. Now I would have no problem with this, if there was also another new character who played standardly, but they don't. This is the first real instance where a game breaks a core feature. In 4-player, one person is forced to use easy mode, even if they don't want to. Nabbit can't take power-ups and turns any he collects into lives at the end. Not only does it make him kinda less interesting to play as, if the guy playing as Nabbit is feeling a little evil, they can just stash all the power-ups in a level. Despite again technically breaking the equality rule, the rest of the system is still intact, so it's still being used, just starting to be remixed in kind of annoying ways. July 2012, New Super Mario Bros. 2. Sorry, I forgot this game even had multiplayer. As I don't think many people even know this existed, I'll quickly throw on screen the major differences if you're interested. Mario 2 represents a fork in the road for Mario Wii. While the rest of the games you see stick closer to it, this game has a new system up its sleeve relating to its camera and players. At any time, one player will have an arrow on their head, indicating they are the leader and have control of the camera. The other player can steal this by ground pounding. If the leading player bubbles or dies, whoever enters a warp zone first, or whoever hits the checkpoint. It's really terrible to play if you're not the leader, because there is almost no camera room on the tiny 3DS screens, and due to how the levels are built, they can't just zoom out like you can in Wii or U. This system ends up breaking 2 of the 4 principles, and you could make the argument that the Mario Wii philosophy was lost here. I would mostly agree, but these changes feel like they were made just to throw multiplayer into a game that wasn't really designed for it, unlike the rest of the games here. For this reason, you won't see it for a while, but keep this fork in mind. November 2013, Super Mario 3D World. We're in 3D now. The new dimension opens up so much more space for free, solving one of the biggest drawbacks of the Mario Wii system. Despite this, the level designers really seemed to make sure you had space anyways, so it does feel a little too open early on. But the better movement in this game basically turns the space into a playground. Every character has unique characteristics now, but this does not break the equality rule since everyone, including player 1, is able to change characters freely in between stages. You can only bubble when on the ground now. This is probably to prevent people from bubbling before dying to cheat out of a life. So it's fair enough. You share lives now. The old 99 life cap has been increased to crown, 1110. So inexperienced players will eat into that massive pool instead of potentially losing all their lives and waiting around. This ends up strengthening the equality rule, as now all lives are the same. Probably my favorite change though is Rule 3 is stronger than ever. The half competitive part of fighting for the crown versus the half cooperative side trying to get green stars and beating levels just leads to great moments. For a few negatives though, you can use the gamepad as a normal controller in this game, and if you do, it lets you access the gamepad features on top. This is a small infraction on equality whether I like it or not. And the Captain Toad levels force you into one player on the gamepad, completely breaking Rule 1. Again, this was Nintendo desperately trying to give the gamepad a use. Please take pity on them. 3D World may not be the best rendition of the Mario Wii formula on Wii U, but it's very close and it'll be back. January 2019, Mario U Deluxe. As the gamepad is gone, they just wiped every feature related to it and we're back to 4 players. So, everyone is equal again, right? In fact, player 1 can finally choose whatever character they want in a 2D Mario. Deluxe, however, continues the annoying trend that Luigi U started, where someone in 4-player is forced into easy mode. Why is Blue and Yellow Toad in the same slot now? So, Toadette. This easy mode is arguably even worse than Nabbit when it comes to the multiplayer experience. Toadette swims better and has an exclusive power-up, limiting the power-ups the rest can get sometimes when she's around. The equality rule is already broken here, but she does do something for everyone. Every level in Mario U Deluxe is forced to 500 seconds now, which wasn't the case originally, just so Toadette can make it 600 seconds. Thanks? Who's even running out of time on a level? This makes no sense. Same time, Luigi U Deluxe. This is the final boss of terrible changes. We have not 1, but 2 easy mode characters. So now even the awesome 3-player mode is affected. I guess equality is overrated anyways. Toadette's time mechanic completely breaks Luigi U though. Every level's gimmick was that you only had 100 seconds. But with Toadette, it's now 200, completely changing how you go about the game. Again, I'm not against this on paper, but when it's your only option for a 3 or 4 player experience, it's awful. What Was it really so hard to separate Yellow and Blue Toad? I'm not a huge fan of Deluxe. February 2021, 3D World Switch. The 2 gamepad exclusive features from before? Well, now every player can have a pointer to mess with stuff on screen, and Captain Toad levels are multiplayer compatible. And it gets even better. The introduction of online multiplayer as an option is huge. To play Mario Wii Online for this video, I had to resort to emulation. So I'm glad there's finally a game that can do it officially. Really, the only issue I could see with this game compared to the original is that everyone is over twice as fast now, so it could be a little more hectic. But this also solved the previous issue of areas being too open, so it's probably a win overall. I unfortunately don't own the Switch version, so I can't find out, but this is where the Mario Wii multiplayer system peaked, and it's also where it ended. October 2023, Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Wonder is a turning point for many things in the Mario franchise, including its multiplayer mechanics. Mario Wonder completely overhauls it. No more collisions with other players, no more bubbles, and the return of the leader mechanic. Players can ride on Yoshi now if someone chooses to play as them, but you just phase through each other otherwise. It's not impossible to still be competitive and cooperate, but Pillar 3 has been significantly weakened. Bubbles are completely removed now, and if you die, you become a ghost before losing a life for the group. Rule 2 isn't looking so good. The leader mechanic is back like NSMB2, but instead of stealing it, it's determined by whoever gets the highest on the flagpole and whoever hits it first if it's a tie. There's no denying it removes the equality from the original system. While this definitely stings a bit for the multiplayer experience, it's a step to hopefully bring single player closer to multiplayer and allow for more interesting level design again. And at least you're not forced into easy mode with full players. Finally! Wonder also adds a bunch of online connectivity, but as far as I can tell, it's not anything that affects your own gameplay much, and is more so to make the game feel more connected. That's what they said in the interview at least. But despite everything, even if the other 3 principles are dead, the foundation of it all, playing at the same time, lives on. We have Mario Wii to thank for that. The next video will be about Mario Kart 8 plus 8 Deluxe. If it's already out, then you can click here, subscribe, and otherwise maybe my previous video on Wii Sports might be interesting to you. See ya!